Hello plant friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your PlanTEA mommy, with your daily reminder to drink your meds and take your water. Today I'm going to be telling you about houseplants that you should buy now. These are plants that have plummeted in price, plants that I think could possibly go back up in price, but you guys, don't panic, but also run, don't walk, okay? Like listen, and I know that I'm always talking about how I'm not buying plants, but a lot of you guys are. So I'm making this video for you to know if you're currently buying plants, what plants you should buy, how much in value technically they've dropped monetarily, like how much were they selling for before and how much are they selling for now. If you like to buy plants and you want to buy plants, I'm gonna tell you what plants you should buy. These are wish list plants that have either plummeted in price or have dropped off by a couple $100s from how much they used to cost. So welcome to the video. Please make sure to hit like and subscribe. Let me know what your wish list is down in the description box, and maybe I'll end up covering some of those in this video. So the number one plant I actually have on this list is the variegated micans. This plant used to cost hundreds of dollars. For a while it was even selling for $1,000 or more. This is the variegated micans halo specifically, which is where it's variegated on the outside of the leaf. You can buy this plant for anywhere between $50 to $83. That is so inexpensive compared to what it used to be. I'm not sure, because of the fact that it's variegated micans, that it's going to honestly drop any further in price, because of the fact that micans is already a really popular plant and there are already micans that do cost $30 to $40. But now you're starting to be able to actually buy plants of micans, are like a couple leaves, like 3 or 4 or 5 leaves that are variegated, for about $110. This plant has come down in price so hard. So if you are looking to buy variegated micans, I think starting now and going on forward into the future is a really good time to buy this plant. The next plant on this list is going to be your variegated epipremnum pinnatum. This plant right now is selling anywhere from $20 to $50 for a medium-sized plant. There was a gal who sold a massive one of these for $10 in my local plant group. Just like coming down to, I just feel like they're so easy to grow. People are starting to look at epipremnum synonymous, in my opinion. The epipremnum from the States, like Aurum and Marble Queen and whatever. Unless it's the Indo version of epipremnum anymore, people are honestly caring that much about the prices. They're just dropping, like they're plummeting. So if you've ever wanted a albo epipremnum pinnatum, 100% recommend that you buy now. They are so cheap. Like we are in such a low right now. Pink princess philodendron. This is a plant that when I first joined the community 3 years ago was on every single person's plant wish list. They were so expensive if you got them online or Facebook, but if you got them in a shop, they were really cheap. People would talk about how, oh, the plant farm used to sell pink princesses for like 10 bucks. My mom, she bought a massive pink princess from Peace, Love, and Happiness Club back in 2019, I think. I think it was only 40 bucks for like, it was huge. Like it was genuinely huge. So it was before the spike happened. So I watched the spike literally happen, and then it just kept going higher and higher and higher. That pink princess are tissue cultured. We're seeing them pop up, in some cases, big box stores, local grocery stores. My local pet store carries pink princesses for like 40 bucks. They're not the prettiest, but like they're there. The fact that they're even there is like crazy. Online, you'll see pink princesses listed anywhere from $35 to $75. Occasionally, you might see a large one or a really high, beautiful color one for a little over $85 and into the $115 range. But this plant is so cheap compared to what it used to be for the last 2 years. So if you have been looking to get a pink princess, I highly recommend, if you're buying, this is a really good time to buy one. This next plant is going to be the syngonium albo podophyllum, and this plant is worth almost nothing right now. Earlier this week, someone in my local group sold one for 10 bucks. Online, however, you can find plants of this anywhere from $20 to $40 for a medium-sized plant. You can find cuttings anywhere from $15 to $30, but I really do recommend checking Facebook. This plant right now is so cheap, in every Facebook group. If you're looking to get one of these, I would say get it from Facebook and wait until a good listing shows up. They are so cheap. Like everyone has one, people are over it, people are getting into more of the niche syngoniums now, so it's a really good time to buy syngonium albo podophyllum. You guys, my cat is losing her mind right now. There's like 30 birds in our backyard, just like in the grass, digging for stuff. Okay, the next one on this list is kind of unbelievable, and that is going to be the Monstera obliqua peru. If you have been wanting a Monstera obliqua peru and you just haven't bought one because they're so expensive or it's never obliqua. First of all, it's obliqua a lot more than you would think lately. Also, they are selling, if you want a node of an obliqua, they're selling for so cheap. They're selling for about $80 for 4 nodes right now, or a little over $100 for a plant. In some cases, $200 for a plant that has multiple leaves, and $300 for an extremely large obliqua. I'm talking 12 or more leaves. This plant used to be the holy grail of plants. Like, I'm talking, it straight up was ridiculously hard to find. It was so expensive, and also some people selling obliqua weren't actually selling obliqua, they were selling adansonii. But now, obliqua are cheap, and if you have wanted one, you should buy it now, because if you don't, like, the price, they could go back up. That's the thing, prices can always go back up. We've seen it happen before, we can see it happen again. If you have wanted one, you should buy one now. It's such a beautiful plant. It's one of the easiest growers that I have personally ever grown in terms of monstera. It grows so fast, and it's just like, it's so worth it. So if you've wanted an obliqua, you should get one now. The next plant on this list is the philodendron verrucosum. The philodendron verrucosum is a plant that has always been inexpensive if you can find it from the right seller, but right now you can get verrucosum for extremely cheap. I'm talking $20 for a couple of leaves, $5 to $10 for just one unrooted cutting. They are so cheap and so easy to find. I think it's just because they grow so fast. You can also trade for them for plants that aren't really like valuable. I don't think verrucosum is technically honestly considered like a rare plant anymore. It's extremely common. It's not commonly sold in stores, but online people don't charge like any money for it. You can spend $28 and buy a large verrucosum with multiple leaves that's rooted. It's just like very accessible right now. So if you've been wanting one, highly recommend buying one. Okay, the next section of this list is plants that aren't necessarily cheap. However, they are a couple $100 to $1,000 cheaper than what they used to be. So if you don't want to wait anymore and you did want to buy these, or you have the budget and you're just like, you know what, it's cheaper, so I'm just gonna go ahead and snag it now. These are the plants for you. Number 1 on this list is gonna be the variegated adansonii. This is a monstera adansonii that's variegated. There's multiple different varieties of these. There is albo variegation, aura variegation, there's mint, there's archipelago. Raven is pushing against the tripod. Right now, in general, for a variegated adansonii, you can get a plant with 4 leaves for around $200. So it's still expensive, it's not cheap, however, it is a lot cheaper than it used to be. It used to be around $300 to $400 per leaf. So much cheaper than that. The next plant on this list is going to be a philodendron strawberry shake. These plants are still around an expensive range. We're talking $150, $200 for a cutting, a nice cutting, and $100 or less for a really low variegation cutting. However, if you wanted to buy a large plant, these plants are $300 to $600 cheaper than what they used to be. A whole plant of a shake, if it had 2 or more leaves, was over $1,000, sometimes into the $4,000 range. Right now, you can buy a large plant for around $600, a medium-sized plant for around $400 to $350. So if you've been wanting a shake, a large one, or even just a cutting, it's not cheap, but it's cheaper than it was. So I'd say that this is a good time to buy if you don't want to wait anymore, or maybe if you wanted to buy multiple. I just think that this would be a good buy for right now. Additionally, we have Monstera albo. These plants, this is the Monstera deliciosa albo variegata or Monstera borsigiana albo variegata, not aurea and not mint. I'm very specifically only talking about white Monstera albos. These right now are selling for around $100 to less than $100 per leaf. This is the lowest they've sold for since 2019. If you have been wanting a Monstera albo, this is a great time to buy one. I've seen that right now they're anywhere from like $85 to $92 per leaf. So you could be spending $200 and get a plant with 3 leaves, or like $250 and get a plant with 3 leaves, or $300 and get a plant with 4 or 5 leaves. Albo lovers, where you at? And finally on this list, we have Monstera peru variegata or Monstera carstenianum variegata. This plant used to cost so much money. I'm talking $1,000 or more. more when I first got into collecting plants back in 2019. It was ridiculously expensive, and if you wanted to get one without importing one, it was almost completely impossible unless you had some serious cash. However, right now they are selling for less than $100 per leaf, and in some cases $150 for 2 or even 3 leaves, depending on the variegation. If you've been wanting one of these, highly recommend. Now is a great time to buy. I think with these more rare plants, if you can do like under $100 per leaf, that's a pretty good deal. I'm not sure that honestly they'll drop below that because these plants do still have like status of being rare plants, if that makes sense. But I'd say that for all these plants, it's a great time to buy. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that this was helpful. I know that a lot of you guys are buying plants still, even though I'm personally not. So I hope that I was able to kind of like maybe guide you into the right direction. I'll be linking some shops down below. This is not sponsored, that I do think would be a great place to kind of look out for these. Always join your local Facebook plant group. There are always going to be deals in there. There's also like Time to Splurge and Purge and Rare and Exotic Plant BST. Like there are so many groups that you can find plants for really low prices. There's also Buy Nothing plant groups you can totally go and check out. But yeah, I think that right now it's a really good time to buy any of these plants. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe and join the YouTube channel memberships. It's only $5 a month and you're helping support a small creator do this full time. Also, in addition, I do have Discord now. You can join it in the link in the description. We almost have 500 Discord members. It's such a good time. Thank you so much to Botanica's Lauren Alexandra and Kim Klinowski for the extra and continued channel support. And I'll see you guys in the next houseplant section. Goodbye.